better. Yeah.
It's okay, sir. Today we have almost 83 participants, and from my team, Albert and Tapovardhan are here.
Okay, you are not
So,
audible.
like,
Akhilesh, I'm not able to hear you properly.
I'm audible, sir, now.
Yeah.
Sir, as of now, we have 82 participants, and Albert and Tapovardhan are from my team itself.
Okay.
And it's 4:13 already, so we can start with the
We can
new
start
topic
now.
today. Yes,
All
sir,
right.
yes, sir, we can start.
So, are there any new joinees who have not joined before? Can you
So
guys please
that we
raise your
need to
hands?
check.
Yeah. So, can you please raise your hand if you're joining first time in this session? Krishna? Anybody else? Others have been here in the previous sessions?
Yes. This is Prithvi here, sir. This is my first session.
Okay, Prithvi. Anybody else? Just raise your hand. I'll briefly explain you what we have done in previous sessions, and then possibly you can catch up with by discussing with others or maybe referring to the recordings. Only idea is like you should not be missing out on things which we have discussed earlier. So make your presentation in that way that you will be able to cover up the previous session's discussion. Okay, Saiba, you are coming first time. All right, so those who are joining first time and those who have already been there but just want to brush up on what we have discussed, I'm going to quickly tell you about the idea of problem statement and how we can possibly define our problems. So before coming to a problem statement, basically we want to understand that what type of problem we have taken up and how we are going to solve those problems. This is the basic sort of like discussion which we had earlier. There was an assignment based on this discussion where you had to understand and define the problem which you have taken up. The idea of problem definition is basically to look into a problem more deeper, more in a sort of like more in a holistic sort of like perspective, so that the problem which you have taken is the right problem which you are going to which you are trying to solve. You are going to solve. So that way, our approach is basically to see that problem which we have taken up is a real social sector problem, and which is a problem everybody or maybe large number of people want those problems to be solved in a very right manner. That means innovation should be there. So that way, that problem definition will be able to help you in terms of whether this problem is worthy taking forward or not. Yeah. And in the course of discussion, we discussed about different type of problems which we come across, and the basic idea of defining those problems is by looking into what type of different categories of problems are there, and those categories can be defined in terms of like problems which are simple problems. Yeah, this is already there in the recordings, so you can refer to those recordings and you can possibly understand the concept of problem definition. So the idea is basically to look into problems. If they are very simple problem, they are easy to solve, and a lot of people must be solving those problems. Those problems are easy to identify also, so that way it's not a great sort of like work to identify a very simple problem and solving those problems for the society. And there are complex problems which requires some multiple level of interventions, maybe two sort of like bodies to come together and possibly solve those problems. Let's say a municipality has to work with a local sort of like administration, and then possibly solving a problem of maybe sewer issues during the rainy season. It's a simple problem. It's a complex, but basically a simple problem in terms of like complexity of dealing with multiple departments. The problem is very simple because you know that how to solve the problem. Let's say electrification in some of the areas, or maybe water supply in different region, are simple problems. But complicated problems, which are complicated in terms of how they are interconnected, problems which are difficult to define and difficult to basically resolve issues because there are multiple elements who need to be agreed to or maybe partner to the solving that problem activity. So that way, complicated problems are usually available across the domain, and you sometimes find them difficult to define, sometimes find them complicated to really make it in a statement, and then solving those problems requires multiple level of interventions. Yep. And then comes the wicked problems, which are usually we call, I'm coming from design background, so those are basically the designerly problems, which are not only complicated but also evolving problems, which are, I think Shubha, you have to mute yourself, please. So problems which are evolving, which doesn't have a single one way or single shot solution. Akhilesh, can you please mute Shubha? Yeah, she is, I think, not aware. All right. So wicked problems are mostly the social sector problems are wicked problems because of their nature of like wickedness. Because you cannot define it easily. You cannot define it in a way that makes everybody understand that what is the real problem. And many times it happens that people don't agree to the solution of those problems also. Sometimes people say that problem can be solved by doing certain things, and then some other group comes in and just opposite to it, they say that no, this is not the way to solve this problem. There are multiple other ways of solving those problems. Many times it happens like once you solve those problems, a new problem crops up, and you realize that problem has been solved, but the system has changed and the problem has changed itself in a and it has appeared in a very new format. So let's say problem of education. The earlier problem was like everybody should be literate. Once we started realizing that a lot of people are literate. Now problem of basic education came in. When we started seeing that okay, majority of population is at least appearing till 10th grade, the basic education, school education, or 12th grade, school education is there. Now there are problems of like how we can possibly connect education with livelihood generation. So we are talking about skill based education. And NEP talks about national education policy, talks about how there could be element of skilling along with education. As we move forward, we realize that okay, there are higher education problem of like what type of courses, what type of job opportunities in those courses, how to possibly obsolete certain type of courses, and how to possibly get into the new courses which are emerging in present scenario. So that way, the problem of education is all across, and we are trying to solve one problem by providing some facilities or basic sort of like structures, and then seeing that problems are evolving, and that way we tried to define those problems, and then by defining, we came up with some problem statement. Almost 6 groups presented their problem statement that day, and they were very interesting sort of like problems which they have taken up, and that way I requested all the groups to possibly connect with each other and share their problems with each other so that we can help in defining, redefining, and realigning those problems in a right manner. So problem statement helps you basically to align your idea with the larger aspect of your entrepreneurial journey, and it will basically help you to understand what is your real challenge and how you can possibly address those real challenge by bringing some innovation, how your team can be aligned with it, and how it can possibly be motivated or can be possibly instructed to work in right sort of like manner. So that way problem statement not only works in terms of like telling you what is the problem, but also to connect all the elements of organization to work towards solving that. So that way we discussed this, and I hope that you have completed your problem statement journey so far. and you will be able to present it in a right manner when you will be required to present it at a larger group. Yeah. Moving forward, we are talking today. We are talking about designing research for social innovation. Yep. And research becomes a very important part of your social innovation journey. Being a social sector intervention, it requires extensive amount of research to be done. If you are not only looking into the problem, but looking into various way of like solution supports, or maybe taking that idea forward and engaging with right sort of like agencies. In all these scenarios, you will always be requiring right amount of research to be done at different level. And we are going to discuss how to do that research and how you can possibly prepare in a right manner so that you will be able to take your problem statements forward. Yeah, so this is what we are going to discuss today. As I come from design domain, we have extensive emphasis on research. Yeah, we take research at a multiple level, and we give huge amount of sort of like emphasis on research activity. Yeah. If you remember, I have shared with you one of the model of design model, which basically talks about how design works, and we basically work in this approach. Yeah, those who have seen this and remember this diagram, it talks about general problems. You, by doing research and by doing insights, you get to the specific problem, which is more defined in terms of like what to do and how to be done, how to be taken, how to resolve the problems. And then comes the ideation and the prototyping, the creative work, which is basically innovation here. And then prototyping, basically testing what idea we have taken up and how it is going to resolve those problems. So that way research becomes very, very critical here. And we do research at multiple stage of our problem journey or our entrepreneurial journey. And that way we will look into how we are going to solve those problems by doing a right research. So research is basically helping in terms of like defining the context of creative opportunity. Yeah. How we are going to define that context where we are going to work is given to us. Let's say a societal context in terms of education, you are trying to provide education in a rural segment. That context is very different than education scenario in urban sector, yeah, urban domain. So that way your interventions would be entirely different, or maybe more specific towards rural requirement rather than taking a urban model and applying it in rural system. So that way understanding of context in terms of who is your user, what user is basically going to come across you, how they're going to behave, what are their challenges, what are their issues, what type of activities or support they would be really needing, and how they will possibly be able to take your benefits is the idea of understanding that context in terms of users. Let's say you are looking into the market scenario. If there is a market for anything, let's say you are doing some intervention in the domain of medicine distribution, and you are realizing that there are huge possibility in terms of medicine sort of like supplies to rural or maybe any given context. In those scenarios, you will realize that there are a lot of competition from branded medicine to generic medicine to government supported medicine. And in those scenarios, picking up a right approach to provide right type of cost effective and accessible medicine is a way of understanding like how the market is going to behave when you are present in that scenario. Many times it happens that people are not trusting non-branded things. Many times it happens that market is too competitive and ready to beat you by reducing price or maybe supplying in excess or maybe stopping you by other means. And that way, understanding of market in terms of its users, its competition, its present situation is very, very critical. Society behaves in different way. Educated lot versus non-educated lot. Economically sound versus economically weaker. Or maybe demographically user groups in terms of like age or maybe preferences in terms of like their behavior are defined by society, and those societal factors are also very critical to be understood. So it's not that you have one great idea, you just go ahead, launch your idea and you will be able to solve the problem. Is not the way to do this, and that is where research is very important. And then looking into how different type of tools and different type of approaches you are going to take up. So it's not that one simple formula. A lot of time we understand that doing research means making a questionnaire, sending it through different means, sometimes online, which your generation is very, very strong in terms of like sending your questionnaires online. But many times your users are not in a position to possibly go through, read, respond in right sort of like manner. So there might be possibility that you have to come across a lot of multiple level of tools. And those tools can be in form of surveys, in form of interviews, observation and all. So that way we have to decide what type of tools are really required. And then the looking into basically insights which are going to be coming out of those research. Yeah. So insights are critical because even if same method has been applied, same type of data has been collected by two different research group or two different entrepreneurial groups, the insights would purely be depending on what type of discussions, what type of understanding of data is there. And this is where a lot of time it happens that agencies come up with different ideas because they understand data in different way and their insights are differing from each other to come up with new solutions. So that way, there are possibility of looking into how different insights are going to be generated from a given situation. Okay. So basically, looking into designing research. So for understanding of larger market, it's a systemic investigation or a study aimed at discovering, interpreting, or refining knowledge. Yeah. So it's not a one-way sort of like approach where you are just applying your idea, trying to see whether this idea works or not. But it's a more systematic investigation in terms of how this idea is basically verified through different ways and how you are going to make sure that idea has a stronger life. It is going to survive for long. It is going to lead to better sort of like prospects for society and for entrepreneurship. So that way, it's a more systematic investigation. Yeah. I'd like to ask a basic question, like how you have decided to take up some idea. Can we call some groups, those who have finalized their idea? What is your understanding of research? How you have done your research and finalized your problem statement? Can we call some people, not uh, those who have not presented that day? Maybe they can come first and they can discuss. Guys, how you decided you have to take up certain type of problems and you have to work on certain ideas? Any responses? Maybe those who are joining today. Prithvi, yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah, please.
So basically, my team is Torit, right? And the research which we did was related to tourists who face problems when they're traveling. And
Okay.
this we arrived to solve at this problem because we ourselves, when I traveled solo, I faced a lot of problems. So what me and my co-founder thought was that if we make a platform which helps people travel seamlessly, maybe they are solo travelers or somebody in group, it would really help them out. So we came out with the problem statement that
Okay. So what is your
travelers
problem statement?
Okay. So, like travelers, especially solo and first time ones, often struggle with poor planning tools and safety concerns and lack of real time local insights.
Okay.
So, in market, there are many different platforms which perform certain things. You got Google Maps to navigate to the destination. You got, booking.com to book your hotels, and then you got TripAdvisor to, know what to do in that place.
Okay.
What we are trying to do is we are trying to integrate it all into one place with help of artificial intelligence, where it includes your budgeting, it understands your taste, it matches your vibe so that you experience the place to the fullest.
Okay. So what is your problem statement? How you tell outside people that what problem you are going to solve.
So it's like generic apps really don't understand what you're trying to do, and most of the times you end up wasting money.
Okay.
And you don't. So what I have observed is we have run different surveys and all. So when people go to any heritage site or any culturally important places, they don't feel the connect with the place. They're just there because they are just pushed over there. They don't really care to understand why is this place important or something.
Okay.
So
How-
it was like,
So it's
solo
a it's a
travelers have
it's
to
a
deal.
it's a problem description. It's not a problem definition. So I'll
Yeah.
simplify it. I have written some words. Yeah, it may possibly say that you are basically looking into the solo travelers or first time travelers to manage or to plan their travel better in terms of budgeting, coordination,
Yeah.
and local connect. Yeah, so that they will have better experiences, and by doing so you will possibly be able to not only help the solo travelers but also the local systems to engage in a right manner. Yeah, there might be. I'm just trying to pick up things. Yeah, I'm not saying that this is the exact one, but you can possibly redefine it. And the issue
Yeah,
here
and
is basically you're trying to say that the platforms which are already existing are not able to solve those problems. They're not
yes.
either complete in terms of one-stop solution. Second is like there might not be rightly presenting the local content, and they are not able to basically connect with the right amount of information to the travelers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this could be, yep, yeah, Ritu.
And even I mentioned about that personalized AI part. So where, it understands and vibes with you so that
Yeah,
you
that is the back
experience the
end.
place to the go.
That's a back
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
Yeah, that is nobody is interested in what you're doing on the back end, but they're just saying I should
Mm.
have a good experience. I have worries in terms of like budget, in terms of what I should
Mm.
really experience and how it is going to happen in given time frame. Yeah.
Yes.
And here the issue is not only with the so who are the users in this scenario? How you define your user?
The users I define as the solo travelers, the first time people the first time travelers.
Okay. And
And in solo travelers, I'm targeting the women. Like nowadays, a lot of women are solo traveling, right? So helping them out too.
okay. And
At the start, just these two.
okay, you are not considering the locals who are going to arrange for the hotels, homestays, or
Oh,
maybe providing
that's
food.
included. Oh, you asked the whole thing. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. These are your users then. If you don't
Yeah, yeah.
realize that what type of other end facilities or other end challenges are there, how you are going to connect with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is, I'm sure you will be looking into it, but a lot of time we miss out on who is the real user in our situation. Yeah. Third, who's the
Yes.
third user?
Uh, Third user in the sense, a
So
bit
these
more
are the first
specific.
user is the traveler, second user is the local body.
Yeah.
Yeah, food providers or maybe stay providers or maybe local cab guys, taxi guys,
Yeah.
services and all. Third user?
Third user could be like, booking.coms or what they integrate our
Okay,
webs
platform. So
our
your
software into that.
platform is not solving that problem.
Uh, we are solving their problem, right? Because they
No, no, that
only,
problem. The booking and not booking and other things will be done by other people, na?
yeah,
Okay, so we are not looking into that. Okay, third users
yes,
could be possibly the activities, events, craft, maybe other parallel systems. So events in terms of let's
yes,
say some festivity. So maybe some festival like Goa has a lot of festivals or Northeast has a lot of festivals coming up to attract youth and basically to call them to participate in different activities. Or maybe craft has become one of the way of like engaging with local craftsmen. So travelers usually go to craft people, try to see what type of work they are doing and they engage with them. Not only in purchasing but also to experience what type of activities they basically do. There are a lot of other factors which are part of the third level user. Yeah. Who's your
yes,
possible third or fourth other user is government. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe policymakers or local bodies who are basically helping you to arrange these activities in right manner.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you do a research, when you plan a research, don't just work around the users who are the first user, but also try to see who are the other service providers, local, or maybe the larger other end of users. Third critical user is basically the government, policymakers, and others who are going to sustain the system, promote the system, or maybe going to support you in a much bigger way. Okay. This is the user. What is the market?
Market is like I'm not. I just still didn't go deep into that part, but I'll
Look into,
surely tell it to you
yeah.
next time.
Maybe we can ask other groups also. Aniket has
Yeah.
raised his hand. Yeah. Yeah, Aniket, you can describe the other part. How you will do a understanding of market or how you will research about market.
Good afternoon, sir. I would like to start with my story uh, when I have started with when I have observed that what is the program statements, and then I will go to the market.
Yeah.
What is the market search? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
So, my journey has started from the sir. My journey has started when I come to my home from Kota after my JE preparation. Sir, I am Niket from the NIT Allahabad. I started visit to the local market. I am searching what is the problems in the market so that I can solve and I can make the business. I found that the sugarcane juice market is highly unorganized and unhygienic,
Okay.
which is dominated by the local vendors. When I started the research in the market, I started the questioning with the local vendors. What is the problems they are facing? I got a lot of problems which they are facing. The first problems which I got that lack of capital, lack of education, due to which they are unable to make this market organized and hygienic. The second thing is that uh, when I uh, we- uh, when I started the deep research, I found that can I make this business very big? So I found that yes, why not? Because a lot of potentials in this, like the when the Amul had started, they had started with making the cooperative societies. And in the case of sugarcane juice market, a lot of farmers are facing a lot of problems. Like they didn't get the right pricing of their crops. Like the local vendors wants to make wants to make the wants to generate the profit, but due to lack of capital they are unable to do something innovations. They are unable to make this market hygienic, and this kind
Okay.
of things which I have found. And I have observed also that, sir, we can also enter into the jaggery sectors, and we can make the ethanol with the sugarcane, because ethanol contains the 60 ethanol. If we want to make a ethanol, the 60% of the sugar canes can be the sugar cane can be contributed. And the second thing is that, sir, in this market size is very big. Day by day the juice market is increasing rapidly, like a real Tropicana. This kind of juice market is increasing day by day in F&B industries. And the local vendors, I have calculated, sir, I have calculated the roughly idea about what is the market size. So I have calculated around the 8,000 crore of the local vendors, which is dominated by the local vendors of unorganized and unhygienic sector, which is sold by the local vendors. So these kind of problems I have observed, sir. And my research is the I used to research uh, I used to research this market by going into the market, by asking with the local vendors what are the problems, and I observed that what is the problems which they are facing. That's why the sugarcane juice market is not increasing. So this kind of observation I have observed in the last 6 months, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So have you seen this machine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So how many households have this machine? How many people
uh,
take this machine, buy machine? Anybody has this type of machine, home-based sugarcane juice maker? How
mm.
many have such type of machines? Please help Aniket to resolve this issue. Guys, can you please respond? If anybody has this machine at home. Aniket, do you have this machine at home?
No, sir, no. But I wanted to buy because these days I am doing the research to. These days I am trying to make the flavored juice. So that's why I am these days I am doing to. I am experimenting to make the
So
flavor kind of juice like.
how do you define this problem as a social problem? Why you say that this is a social problem? And this question is there to Prithvi also. How you define that problem of solo travelers as a social problem? Yeah, try to look into this. Okay, I really feel this is a social problem because see there are two things. One is like sugarcane juices are really very important, like way of finding some important nutritions. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
It's very raw and very good in terms of like for the consumption, and
Yeah, sir.
it is very easily accessible. Yeah, it provides a lot
Yeah,
of like benefits to many different diseases, especially good for liver sort of like health, and has a
yeah,
lot of benefits. Yeah, it's
yeah, sir.
easy to get also. On the other hand, it's a very good livelihood option because just by having a machine and by maybe a lot of time there are manual machines, a lot of time there are motorized machines, some are electrical, some are diesel sort of like motor based machines. So it's a easy way of churning or making juice. Yeah, so that way it's a good livelihood option. Third is price wise, it's very affordable. Yeah, so a lot of
Yeah,
people, large number of people. So that way, I think when you define your problem and you try to see the market, try to bring in those aspects and do extensive research in terms of like why a sugarcane juice making is a good social sort of like system where it is not only helping the users but also helping people to get livelihood options. How it can be more sustaining? What type of challenges are there? So in terms of value, what type of value is there in the market? In terms of players, how many different type of players are there? There are a lot of organized players, and I have seen somewhere sugarcane juice selling for 200 rupee also in a restaurant.
yeah, sir. Yeah, yeah.
And there are
Right.
in the market, you will get it for, I don't know what is the present price, but I think for around 10 rupee,
20,
5 rupee, 20
20
rupees,
rupees, sir.
20 rupees
20
the
rupees one
basic price.
glass.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah, yeah.
glass. So that way, it's very affordable in that way. Yeah, the coconut water is more costlier, 50 rupees.
50 rupees. Yes, sir.
Yeah, or maybe
Yeah,
lassi or charge is also very costly. Equivalent,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
charge could be
Right.
equivalent to this, but not everybody like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Lassi is costlier, 25 rupee, 30 rupee, 50 rupee, depending on the nature of like stall. So that way sugarcane juice makes a very strong like social problem. Yeah. When you define it in that way, you will have to do a lot of research in terms of like where it comes from, what type of machines, what type of users, what type of
yeah,
service providers, what type of government issues in terms of like location of the stall, how it can possibly be
yeah,
made more organized or more movable so that people will be able to consume it easily. So that way research, I think, is very, very essential in terms of understanding how this could become a more sustainable livelihood option. Yeah. If
yes,
you
sir.
start looking into what type of user challenges and you do a deeper research, what type of challenges you guys face, let's say, or you feel that sugarcane juices have. Can you please respond? Let's do a quick survey. What
Yeah.
problems you feel that sugarcane juices system has? Roadside sugarcane guys who are selling sugarcane juices.
Okay.
Can you please write here? Please help Aniket to get some responses. You all are, I think, I believe you all are sugarcane juice users for Aniket. So can you please write, okay, unhygienic. Yeah, somebody,
Yeah,
I think,
that is the
somebody
main
wrote.
problem, sir.
Okay, no, Aniket, just stop here. Don't,
Okay,
don't say anything. Okay, let people
okay,
say
okay, sir.
what they feel about.
Okay,
Okay, guys, somebody has
okay, okay,
said
sir.
unhygienic. Anybody else? I'm not able to see the messages. So, participants, messages. Guys, are you writing? Chat. Okay. Yeah. So somebody has written, Sheikh Mustafa has written unhygienic, improper waste disposal. Okay, very good, Anish. Very important point. And this improper disposal is of two ways. One is the bio waste, which is generated from the sugarcane, the husk. And another one is the maybe wastage of plastic glasses or plastic tumblers, or some cases straws. Some cases you will find waste water, which is used for cleaning glasses. So that way, waste disposal is a big problem. Any other problem? Sometimes the sugarcane juice will be stored and given after a long time. Okay, longevity is a big problem. Aniket, you should note down this problem point. Longevity is a problem. A lot of time people feel that it gets stale or it is not good for health if it is stored for a long time.
Yeah, yes.
Lack of proper cleanliness, sanitation. Okay, cleanliness.
Right.
Okay, cleanliness issue. Yeah, hygienic as well as cleanliness. So hygienic is how you practice, how you are using gloves or maybe washing your hand, how you are cleaning sugarcane and all is the hygiene issue. Cleanliness is like how you maintain your surrounding, how your machines are properly cleaned, how you present a system where you basically build a trust. Yeah. So Aniket, it's not just a problem of hygiene, but it's also about trust.
Yeah, yeah. Right, sir.
Okay. So yeah. Any other problem? Guys, please respond. Yeah, you are. I really believe that you are the real users. Yeah, Ritik. Yes, please. Not an issue. Okay. Roadside stalls are exposed to dust. Okay. Very good. Insect infestation. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of honeybees come there. A lot of bees come there.
Right.
Yeah, lot of such
Right, sir.
issues.
Right.
How you can possibly confine that area, make it more, and it's a good thing honeybees come because they are ultimately helping to maintain the environment. But sometimes that's also a hygiene issue. Any other point? Okay, Aniket, now you have to add few more points based on your research.
Sir, there is a big problem that about the taste, sir. A lot of people, the roadside vendors are not catering the mass consumers. A lot of people think that no, sugarcane, sometimes sugarcane juice is tasty and sometimes sugarcane juice is not tasty because they are not aware about how to prepare that. They don't know what is the how can we make it very how can we make it very tasty. And another kind of problems we can say, sir, taste problems and we can say, sir, that is the main problem, sir. Within 10 minutes to 20 minutes the sugar cane juice can be spoiled because it contains sugar cane juice contain the high amount of sugar, and when it react with the oxygen, it will fermentate, and that's why the sugar cane juice will be worse within 10 to 20 minutes. I think the Sarup has noted this.
Okay,
This is the main reason, sir.
okay. So see, my feeling as like I can understand, I can possibly say if I have to do this research, I'll look into a lot of other areas. I'll look into the quality issue. How you maintain the quality.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, somebody has written here. Okay, constant supply and quality of cane. So it's not only quality of canes, but sugar canes, but also to make sure that if you are serving a type of sugar cane juice, let's say some sugar cane juices coming from some specific variety of sugar cane, let's say you're providing that. How you maintain a quality? How you tell your customers that n number of times you come here, you take sugarcane juice from your stall, it should be same, yeah, and it should be maintained by certain quality standards. We are not assuring this. Lot of time it is a problem that it is more personalized. People feel, अच्छा अच्छे से बनाना मतलब बर्फ कम डालना. And sometimes people have mentioned
Yeah,
that
yeah.
somebody puts a lot of like what dilute it by putting a lot of like ice or a lot of maybe sometimes water contamination is also there. Water quantity is very high. Maybe quality can be assured by different ways, and you go and check what consumers really mean by quality of sugarcane juice. They will give you a lot of parameters. Yeah. In what terms you will
Yeah.
define a quality of this thing. Production is an issue because moment this
Yeah.
guy gets into serving sugar canes, he or she stops churning the juice. Yeah. When this person is churning the juices, that that time he will is not serving the customers, and that becomes a production issue. How this person can possibly make more number of juices more faster, more conveniently. So I think production by doing some innovation, maybe machine improvements or maybe process improvement, there are a lot of problems, and you should definitely research this. Assurance issues. Yeah. How you assure that, okay, if you will come here, you will get this. Yeah. How you convey that, okay, I'm available all the time, whatever duration or whatever time I'm saying. Or how I assure that you will get best sort of like juices here. So that way, assurance is also very critical. There is another strong possibility of like perception of sugarcane juices are rich in sugar. How much sugar is there in
Yeah.
100 ml sugarcane juice?
Sir, 100 ml. I have observed, sir. I have observed with the Brix refractometer. I
Okay.
have observed that, sir, when I cross the sugar cane, when I have crossed the sugar cane, in 100 around, you will say, sir, 20 to 25% Brix is deflecting. Sir, every day I measures the sugar cane juice. Sometimes it will be the 22% in the form of Brix form, and sometimes it will be the form of 20%. That means 25% is a very high content of the sugar, but we can reduce it by mixing with the citrus fruit, vitamin C, like the lemons, pineapples, and the mosambi kind of, and oranges. We can reduce that, sir. And when we will reduce the sugar content, the taste can be enhanced.
So Aniket, this is the sugarcane juice ka percentage. Yeah, moisture is
Yeah, sir.
82%. Then
Yeah.
total sugar is 16%. Total carbohydrate is 9.23%. What is the sugar content in Coca-Cola?
Sir, I don't know, sir. I think
This is where I think research is
I
very
think
critical. Na? How do you
yes, sir.
define
When I
your...
have measured, sir, when I have measured the Lahori Jeera sugar content, it content has the 15% around Brix in the term of Brix refractometer. When I have measured with the Brix refractometer, I observed that the 15% sugar is contained in the Lahori Jeera.
Okay, this is sugar content of Coca-Cola. In let's say one bottle, okay, percentage of sugar is total sugar. Okay, including 16 grams, something. Okay, not right figure. Okay, I'll get some other data. Coca-Cola has 100 gram of, so Coca-Cola has almost like 40 gram of sugar, something like that. So 100 grams of Coca-Cola is approximately out of 330 ml, 35 gram is Coke. Coke is having 35 grams of sugar. So 100 grams may almost around 12% of sugar is there. Yeah, by percentage. Carbohydrate is 13%. Yeah, this is the figure. So see, Aniket, when you are talking about your customer, who is your real customer? Who do you think that is a real, who is your real competition?
Sir, I think, sir, when I will see in the Bihar and the UP, I will see, sir, I think local vendor is our real competitions, because when you will see in the UP and Bihar, there is a no organized players in the UP and Bihar. Because sir,
Okay.
my research was in UP and Bihar mostly. So that's why we can this time I can just tell you about the market of UP and Bihar. So my real competition is the local vendors, and they will. I think the strategy. If I will play with the price strategy, we can compete easily with the locals vendors. Like if they are selling the 20 rupees per glass of the sugarcane juice, I can also sell when I will become the organized player, sir. We can also sell the 20 rupees per glass
Okay.
with the flavor.
So who do
If I
you,
will
so
infuse the flavor like the
let's ask other people. Who do you think is the real competitor of Aniket? Or maybe more competition of Aniket? Okay, one is other sugarcane juice sellers. They could be your partner also. They can possibly, because you, when you will scale up, my feeling is like those people, Aniket, will join you as your partner. Yeah, so they will
Yeah,
take
yeah,
your
right.
machine, their brand, your brand, and they will possibly be
Yeah.
your extended sort of like sellers. Yeah, so I don't think all sugarcane juice makers will be your competition. Some of them, yeah. But who do you think, guys? Others? Campa and Sting. Okay, very good. So Campa and Sting is one of the competition. Yeah. If you are not considering them as competitor, please start looking into that, Aniket. Okay,
Okay,
who is there?
sir.
Who is the other competitor? Coca-Cola is another competitor. All juice makers are another competitor. All chas
Sir,
makers are
paper boat.
paper boat. Yeah. So we are not going by the
Yeah.
brand, but we are saying that okay, the aerated drinks, soft drinks, and then possibly competition will come from possibly the milk-based products companies. Okay, these are the competitors. Other competitor? Who's your biggest competitor? Water bottle suppliers. So can you see water bottle suppliers as your competition, Aniket? Just do a survey. Try to see how many times people will prefer to take your sugarcane juice against water bottle. Or can you partner with water bottle guys to supply water bottles along with you?
Sir, I don't think so. Ki water bottles are the our competitions, because
Lot
when I
of
am
time,
going to sell the.
lot of time when people are thirsty, they say, "अच्छा ये sugarcane juice वाले के पास रोकना." I've seen
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, right, sir. Right, right.
ठीक है. So
Mainly
also see
the
my
mainly the
my point.
bikers.
I'm not saying I'm completely right or you are completely confirmed about this idea, but make your research more expanded. Try to bring in factors which nobody has talked about. Yeah, try to see whether
Yeah.
there is a possibility of looking into more information in terms of like how your customer, how your market, how your competition, how your possibly way of doing business can be defined. Yeah. So maybe
Okay,
you
sir.
can think about the selling system. How sugarcane juice should be sold. Should it be sold the way tea is sold, or should it be sold the way coffee is sold, or should it be sold in some other different way? You should look into it. Yeah. So
Okay, sir.
possibility of innovation is not just within that one glass of sugarcane juice which is extracted on the spot, but also maybe where it should be sold, how it should be sold, who is going to consume it, in what conditions people will prefer it, how you educate your customers so that they will prefer sugarcane juice against Coca-Cola or maybe Campa. Yeah. So that way, purpose of research is very, very critical in terms of define where you're coming from and what you really want to do. Yeah. So it helps in understanding the situation better, make you aware about what to be done, provide clarity about opportunity and risk associated, better planning, more prepared to go forward. It's not just about one simple idea. Yeah, research is not limited to idea only. आइडियाज तो बहुत है हमारे पास सबके पास yeah but problem is like
Right.
which idea to take up and how that idea can possibly expand to a real social innovation is a bigger challenge. Yeah, so basically looking into the opportunity, what opportunity is coming in front of you. Yeah, why to solve this problem? If let's say you have taken up a problem of providing sugarcane juice in right manner across the city or across the street, so why you really want to solve this problem? Question it multiple times in all perspective. Do you want to make a social organization which is providing sugarcane juice? Or maybe you want to provide livelihood options to people, or you have excess, maybe raw material which can be used in right manner. Yeah. So a lot of like sugarcane goes to mill, but at a very low sort of like margin. If a farmer
Yeah.
has an option to provide sugarcane juice in real time manner, it's an additional benefit to them. So maybe you can look into why this problem to be solved. Yeah. For whom to solve? Who is your real customer? Are you finding a real customer who is health conscious, or your real customer is somebody who is thirsty, or who really want to enjoy a sweet sugarcane juice, or somebody who's traveling and wanting to have something on the go, or maybe somebody who is health conscious looking for some health related benefits. You must be aware that in jaundice, it is highly recommended that one should have
Yeah.
good amount of sugarcane juice. In liver
Right.
problems, which is also caused by jaundice in many scenarios, always have an instruction that sugarcane juice should be taken on priority. Yeah? So that way, health benefits, or maybe benefit of any other thing which have not been explored so far. Then looking into how to solve the problem. Research helps in terms of how in different ways problem can be solved. So should you have a machine, the way we identified a machine, or should you go by maybe making more sort of like local solutions? Or should you look for a decentralized system where whatever way sugarcane juice is produced, it should be consumed in that manner, but you're only interested in creating a brand, creating a system around it. So how to solve this problem? Solution might be in multiple ways, and those multiple ways will emerge from your research. Yeah. Why somebody will take your solution? What is the value which you are going to provide to your customer is also very important. And do a thorough research in terms of like what is the real value of sugarcane juice? Is it money, 20 rupee a glass, or is it health benefit, or is it timely solution, or is it a experience of having sugarcane juice? Lot of people, many of our users always wait for summers to start, and they always say, "Yeah, research sugarcane juice nahi piya. We haven't taken sugarcane juice this summer." Yeah, this is a common sort of like statement. So there is a craving, there is a
Yeah.
willingness to take it. Yeah, but in what value terms that you should identify. Okay. So, for what benefit? What is your real idea of this organization or this purpose? Do you want to make money? Do you want to satisfy people's requirement? Do you want to create a system in society? Do you want to create livelihood options? Do you want to organize all sugarcane juice makers to come forward and possibly join your initiative? Or do you want to do something which nobody has done so far in terms of like changing the whole economy of sugarcane juices? So how solution will be delivered? In terms of it has to be in a right business model. Yeah. So if your business model is correct, it will spread in a right manner. If your business model is not right, possibly you will reach out to people, 10 people, 100 people, maybe 1,000 people, but will not be a great impact in the society. So look it from that perspective. Always have a detailed research in terms of like how it is going to create an impact in the society. If it is a societal impact, you will be remembered for it. If it is not a societal impact, people will just use it and then forget it. Yeah. You must have seen the revolution around chai system, chayos, chai wala and all. Yeah, it's a big revolution.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the idea behind this initiative. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who have worked around, and some of them have got succeeded. Some of them have gone in a cafe coffee day model. Some have gone in terms of tapari model.
Yeah.
Yeah, some have gone in terms of
Yeah.
more decentralized model by recognizing brand in a simple manner. Some have gone in terms of creating a bigger brands and making it absolutely non-affordable in some cases. 100 rupee ka ek chai, cutting chai. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
Right.
thought about creating variety of chai and then providing those listing, adrak wala, then elaichi chai, ginger tea, black tea, and green tea, and then variety of green tea, then Assam tea, Darjeeling tea. And they created value by providing options. Yeah, and those who are chai lovers who started going there. Yeah, and they started creating a business. Some people created an environment around it. They made some sitting arrangement. They made it look like a thela or maybe chai tapri and created an experience. Chai is same, the delivery is same, the glasses are same, but it's a better experience. So if you hesitate to go and have a tea in a stall, you will possibly go to that sort of like brand to have tea. So that way it became more the same, more appreciable. Defining your users or understanding your user. Understanding your user is very, very difficult. By saying, okay, because everybody likes sugarcane juice, there might be possibility that you're not understanding your user rightly. Yeah. There are multiple segments of users. Somebody want it in a more sophisticated manner. Somebody wanted roadside. Somebody wanted cheaper. Somebody wanted chilled. Yeah. Somebody wanted with flavors, maybe adrak or maybe some lemon flavor or maybe some mint flavor. Some people want it presented rightly. Yeah. More sophisticated glass, not plastic, but maybe paper cups, or maybe somebody want it multiple numbers. Yeah, so if I'm going there, it should be cheaper so that I can drink more amount of sugarcane juice. So understand your user. Who is your real user? How they come? How, why they use it? Why they don't go to a nariyal pani or maybe Mosambi juice guy and will come to you? Yeah. Try to understand their mindset, their challenges, their issues, their perception about you and all. Okay, what challenges they are facing? Are they facing challenge of accessibility, or they are facing challenge of perception about the sugarcane juice, or their challenge is pricing, or their challenge is possibly taste, or consistency, quality, or whatever. Okay, try to understand what is the real challenge and what type of challenges you are going to solve. You will not be able to solve all the problems in one go. So maybe you can prioritize in terms of like which is something to be solved. Yeah. And then looking into what type of alternatives you have in terms of like competitions or alternatives they have in terms of competition, like what is they prefer to consume if they are not consuming your drink. So will they go to Coca-Cola? Will they go to water bottle? Will they go to maybe home and have water? Do they carry their own bottles? Do they carry their own juices? Or do they prefer packed one instead of like fresh one? Is your clear competition? And then try to see. Yeah. And then try to look into what type of value they want. Some people pay 200 rupee in what condition? Somebody people want it for 10 rupee in what conditions? And how you can satisfy both the customers in different ways. And how many customers are there? Are there customers really in good numbers? Or you're just talking about 100, 200, 500 people in a month? Or in a day? Or in an hour? So that way, try to look into this. Yeah. Ritik, you want to say something?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you want to add something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ritik.
Sir, myself रोहित थपलियाल and मेरा फ्रेंड भी सर साथ में है ठीक
हाँ.
सर अपना आइडिया पहले तो सर मैं आपको प्रॉब्लम बताता हूँ कि क्या दिक्कत आ रही थी हमको सर रिसेंटली हम वृंदावन गए थे तो हमें एक सिंपल प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ी वहाँ पे घूमने के लिए सर वहाँ पे कोई अफोर्डेबल टैक्सी भी नहीं मिल रही थी और रैपिडो भी सही रेट पे मतलब अपनी मर्जी से कुछ भी रेट दे रहे थे वो तो और हम एज ए स्टूडेंट हम पे सर अपनी कोई व्हीकल तो है नहीं इसलिए सर रेंटल सिस्टम हमने सोचा है कुछ जो कि ये सॉल्व करेगा स्कूट नाउ एक
Okay.
सर ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म होगा या ऐप होगा जहाँ पे सर हम अपनी वेरीफाइड स्टोरी मतलब स्कूटी अपनी रेंट पे दे सकें
Okay.
यस सर
अच्छा, ये
ताकि सर
आपका
मतलब
प्रॉब्लम
कोई भी
स्टेटमेंट
लोग
है.
ये सर इसमें आइडिया भी है हमारा
ओके.
यस सर
ओके, तो क्या आइडिया क्या है आपके पास?
कि अपनी वेबसाइट सर एक ऐप होगा स्कूटी नाउ का जहाँ पे सर मतलब लोग हमसे कनेक्ट कर पाए डायरेक्टली
ओके.
और मतलब लोकल लोगों की स्कूटियाँ होगी लेकिन वो हम पे रियल टाइम पे कनेक्ट करेंगे कि अवेलेबल है या नहीं है
ओके.
यस सर और ये बिल्कुल उनको अच्छे
इसमें
प्राइस पे
अलग क्या
मिलेगी
है?
ताकि
इसमें अलग क्या है?
अलग ये रेंटल है ना सर रेंट पे देंगे हम उनको
तो सभी दे रहे हैं ना?
अभी कोई ऑनलाइन तो सर है नहीं कि हम कहीं बाहर जाते हैं तो पता चल जाए कि
ये तो सब जगह
अभी स्कूटी चाहिए कि
लोकल रेंटल सॉल्यूशंस हैं. ठीक है. वो
टूरिस्ट
लोकल
को
से
नहीं होता है ना सर पता कि कहाँ पे ये
हाँ.
टूरिस्ट को पता नहीं होता है ना सर कि कहाँ से लेना है और बहुत टाइम उसमें वेस्ट हो जाता है ढूंढने में
हाँ. ठीक है.
तो सर ऑनलाइन डायरेक्ट चेक करके वो रियल टाइम अवेलेबिलिटी में पता कर सकते हैं और
ओके.
यस सर
नहीं तो मैं ये कहता हूँ आपका आप ऑलरेडी आप ये तो ओला भी कर सकता है, उबर भी कर सकता है. आपका इनोवेशन क्या है?
तो ये ओला उबर ने सर कर रखा है लेकिन नहीं हो पा रहा है ना उनसे भी तो
हाँ. ठीक है.
मतलब सर हमने वहाँ पे रैपिडो ट्राई करने मतलब बुक करने का देखा तो वो अपनी मर्जी से एक्स्ट्रा चार्जेस ले रहे थे, हम कुछ कर नहीं पाए फिर।
ओके,
हाँ।
ठीक है। तो ठीक है, दिस इज अ गुड प्रॉब्लम। बट आप इसमें ना देखो ऋतिक, हम जो बात कर रहे हैं, हम यही बात कर रहे हैं कि
यस।
आप कैसे अपने प्रॉब्लम को राइटली डिफाइन करें। ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम बहुत सिंपल होता है। बहुत बार क्या होता है, हमको किसी को
यस सर।
सबको ये लगता था कि घर पे खाना पहुंचाना कोई कोई बहुत डिफिकल्टी थोड़ी है। हम किराने वाले को फोन करते थे, वो एक छोटू को भेजकर हमारे घर पे सामान डिलीवर कर देता था। ठीक है, तो ये तो बहुत पुराना सिस्टम है। ठीक है, फूड डिलीवरी, बहुत सारे रेस्टोरेंट्स फूड डिलीवर करते थे। आप फोन करो, उसकी पहचान है आपसे, तो फूड डिलीवर कर देता। बट किसी ने सोचा कि नहीं, फूड डिलीवर रेस्टोरेंट से स्केलेबल वे में किया जा सकता है। ठीक है, या किराने का सामान 10 मिनट में डिलीवर किया जा सकता है। जिस टाइम पे बिग बास्केट, अमेजोन, बाकी सब एक दिन की डिलीवरी की बात कर रहे थे, उस टाइम पे आप देखो कि जेप्टो या फिर दूसरे कौन सी कंपनीज हैं जो अभी सामान डिलीवर कर रहे हैं,
Blinkit,
इंस्टामार्ट, ब्लिंकिट,
Blinkit.
ये सब ने सोचा कि नहीं, हम 10 मिनट में सामान डिलीवर करेंगे। आपको धनिया का पत्ता चाहिए, हम आपको धनिया का पत्ता देंगे। या इफ यू वांट अ कोरिएंडर लीफ, यू विल गेट इट। इफ यू वांट अ क्विक आइटम, let's say if you want to consume something immediately, you have started preparing something and you want some ingredients, you will get it immediately. That is the level of basically that is the level of service people have started providing to us. Okay, so that way it becomes very very critical that how we are going to define our problem. And by defining our problem, many times it happens that that you are solving a problem which is much bigger. Yeah, people have started realizing because of your right definition of the problem.
यस सर।
Yeah. So that we try to look into it. ऋतिक, आप एक बार देखें कि वो प्रॉब्लम क्या है और क्यों है, और क्यों उसको सॉल्व करना जरूरी है। ठीक है, तो आपको समझ आएगा कि आपका प्रॉब्लम बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग वे में बहुत सारे लोग उसको एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए तैयार हैं। ठीक है, तो इस तरीके से मेरा एक सजेशन है कि जस्ट ट्राई टू लुक इनटू कि आप किस बड़े लेवल पे उस प्रॉब्लम को देख रहे हैं। ठीक है, क्यों वो सोसाइटल प्रॉब्लम है, क्यों वो एक सोशल इनोवेशन है। ठीक है, तो इस तरीके से उसको देखना आपको चाहिए। ठीक है, तो जब हम बात कर
यस
रहे
सर।
हैं डिफाइन करने की, तो प्रॉब्लम का डेफिनेशन एक चीज है। ठीक है, दूसरा डेफिनेशन है यूजर। ठीक है, जो लार्जर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यूजर कहाँ से आ रहा है, क्यों आ रहा है, हम किसको यूजर कहते हैं, कौन हमारे एक्सटेंडेड यूजर है। जैसे कि हम सोलो ट्रैवलर की बात कर रहे थे, हम कहते हैं कि हमारा यूजर केवल ट्रैवलर नहीं है, बल्कि सर्विस प्रोवाइडर भी है, जो होम स्टे प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, फूड प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, टैक्सी प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, या मे बी दूसरे अलग ऑप्शंस प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, वो भी हमारे यूजर्स हैं। ठीक है, फिर उसके बाद तीसरा यूजर है हमारा गवर्नमेंट, जो कहता है कि अच्छा, आप यहाँ अगर बिजनेस बनाना चाहते हो तो हम पॉलिसीज ऐसी बनाएंगे। अगर आप यहाँ पे ट्रैवल एंड टूरिज्म बढ़ाना चाहते हैं तो हमारे ये अप्रोचेस हैं जो कि आप ऑलरेडी यूज कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, हम फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, ट्रेन का स्टॉप यहाँ पे होगा। ठीक है, आपको यहाँ के लिए रिजर्वेशन मिलेगा, हम यहाँ पे बसेस चला रहे हैं, ये गवर्नमेंट का काम है। ठीक है, और हो सकता है कि आपके एक इंटरवेंशन से गवर्नमेंट को वहां पे एक बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी दिखाई दे रही है, और उससे वो, तो इस तरीके से गवर्नमेंट भी एक यूजर है, आपके दूसरे सपोर्ट सिस्टम भी आपका यूजर है, और उनको समझिए। ठीक है, ओके, मैं अपना स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ। ठीक है, तो आप यूजर को देखेंगे, आप उसको कैसे वैल्यू प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, कैसे हम उसको बेसिकली वो चीजें प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं जो उसको चाहिए सही मायने में। ठीक है, उसके बाद हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, यूजर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कैसे हम करते हैं। ठीक है, यूजर अंडरस्टैंडिंग करने के बहुत सारे तरीके, और रिसर्च को जब हम डिटेल में बात करेंगे तो मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि कैसे हम, हाउ विल बेसिकली अप्रोच आवर यूजर्स to get the answers or for the questions which we have presented to them. Okay. Those questions are very very critical. If you go and ask what type of sugar cane juices you want, people will give you 3 or 4 options. You will say what type of problem you really feel with sugar cane juices, you will get some answers. If you go and observe, you will find that okay, there are multiple other ways that user have not answered, but there are answers you can get from observation. If you do a more deeper study, you will realize that okay, user have all other different concerns which they have not responded to through your questionnaires. So approach to understanding user is also very very critical. Yeah? How you really try to see those users and how you are going to basically get the answers from them is also very important. Yeah. Then understanding your idea. Okay, what type of idea you are trying to bring in, what you really call an idea is also very important. Yeah. So what is the idea, where the idea coming from? What is the real idea which you have? Do you know this idea is unique or this idea is very common? Do you think that idea has been taken up by multiple other people and have been resolved in multiple different ways? Your idea of solution is unique or is it also going to be replicating a similar model but in a different way? Yeah, that understanding is very, very important. Yeah. Testing the validity and reliability of your idea. Always try to see whether this idea is valid or not. So, invalid idea could be that packing sugarcane juices in right manner. Yeah, could possibly be an invalid idea because sustaining sugarcane juices in a packed system is possibly impossible, possibly not happening so far. Yeah, so that might be an invalid idea because you cannot preserve a sugarcane juice by any means. Yeah, that could be possibly one of the way of looking into it. Or maybe there are some preservatives which can make sugarcane juices or maybe coconut water can be preserved for a longer duration. There are some packed sugarcane juices and coconut waters are there. Yeah. So that way define the validity and reliability of your idea. Okay. Refine the idea as per the real challenges. In many scenarios, it happens that ideas are very immature, primitive ideas. And many times you try to see that how those ideas can be refined further. Yes. Can it sustain in the business context? There are a lot of ideas which are really good, but when they go forward, they don't sustain in the market. Yeah. So many times we come across idea of maybe uh, pre-cut vegetables. Yeah, it's a good idea. No? Like you get pre-cut vegetable in market, and you will be able to possibly immediately prepare your dishes or maybe food items by using those pre-cut dishes. What is the problem with pre-cut dishes? How many of you go to sabzi mandi? Yeah, vegetable market. Can you please raise your hands? Okay, there are a good number of people who usually go to sabzi mandi. Okay, why do you think that sabzi mandis or vegetable markets are not providing cut vegetable? So far, we haven't seen a market evolving at a grassroots level that we start getting all our vegetables cut in a right manner. Yeah, why this market is not, this idea is good, no? If I get cut vegetables packed rightly, I'll just go home, prepare it, and then I'll be done with making my sort of like food faster. But it is not happening. Today also I was in Sabzi Mandi for purchasing some items. But I always find that raw vegetables are sold in a freshly arranged manner. Yeah, and I go and pick them. Okay, longevity is one issue. Another issue, cut the vegetables start to oxidize. Yes, longevity is the issue. Quality of cut vegetable is going down. Second point. So uncut raw vegetables are more preserved, having more long-lasting life. Yeah. Okay, wastage will be higher. Vamsi is mentioning wastage will be very, very high, definitely. Yeah, there will be a lot of like wastage. People will find it not economically viable to chat. I'm not able to see the chat panel. Participants and chat. Okay, chat. Yeah, spoilage, volume of business, time, capital, and less labor. Okay. Yeah, so it requires a lot of like volume. A lot of people should be buyer. Very good point. Yeah. Saru, yes. Karthik, no cold storage, proper way to store. Yes, okay. But don't you think this is a very good idea? No? I get cut vegetable, those can be stacked on my fridge. It will not occupy too much of space. Yeah, it will be easy to decide what to make and what not to make. Many times it happens, I am seeing cabbage and then I'm seeing maybe potatoes and I have some other vegetable, leafy vegetables. I realize, okay, leafy vegetable will be too cumbersome. Let's make potato. Yeah, all because it requires a lot of processing. I prefer to take something which is easier to make. So cut vegetable is a great idea, but it doesn't sustain a business context because the storage issues, the cutting issues, a lot of people have issue with the sizes of cut vegetable. I want it bigger in size. I want it cut longer, yeah, instead of like chopped in a small pieces. I want to possibly cut in less number. Yeah, so there might be possibility if I'm purchasing in a bulk, maybe 250 grams, it is not good enough, and I'll have to purchase extra. Or 250 gram is too much for me to prepare. Yeah, for one person. There might be possibility that sizes of cut or maybe size of packing could be an issue. Yeah. So that is also making this idea go down in the business sense. Everyone has a different liking and different style of cutting. Yes. Cutting vegetable exposes more surface area, air, bacteria. Okay, good. Yeah, so there are a lot of benefits of having a cut vegetable, but we usually prefer that vegetable should be raw. It should come fresh and as is in our home, and then we will prepare it according to our requirement. So idea, sometimes you go out and check with your customers or prospective customers. Lot of youngsters, lot of like single sort of like bachelors would possibly prefer that a cut vegetable is a good idea. But when it comes to the market, you find this idea doesn't sustain well. Yeah, except some supermarkets, you will not find this idea is sustaining in a big way. Yeah. So that way, the ideas need to be checked. Yeah, sugarcane juice. The idea is amazing, but if you just go out and try to see, Aniket, you have to do a good work in terms of like groundwork, in terms of understanding whether there is a market for it or not. Yeah. This chart, which talks about there is a book called Design of Business. I recommend Design of Business by Roger Martin. Yeah. I have given some other book list also earlier. So guys, please try to read books, and I'm going to give you some more books list. So Design of
Okay, sir.
Business, I'll write it here only.
Okay, sir.
Design of Business is a very interesting book which talks about how the businesses can be designed. Yeah. Just a moment, I'll show you. There is a book called Design of Business. Design of Business. Book. Okay, there is an image. I'll just copy it here. Okay. So this book basically talks about the idea of how ideas, when you have a great idea, there will always be a lot of like mystery from where there are ideas usually emerge. Then some people resolve those ideas. Yeah, usually people who are creative in nature. Yeah, creative and in their expertise, like you guys, who have got a lot of ideas and then we have filtered, and then you have evaluated some ideas and you are picking up one idea to take it forward, which is basically a heuristic. Yeah, where you see that how this idea can be solved, how this problem can be solved. And from there, we try to see that how algorithms can be created. Algorithm means formulas, how you can make that idea work in scale, how you make it in such a way that it can scale up and resolve issues of, let's say, sugarcane juices selling all across Bihar or all across northern India, wherever there is a huge summer, or maybe all across southern India, wherever there is a huge amount of demand for sugarcane juices. Yeah. So that way, scaling up or reaching out to large number of people, making a good business sense out of it is the algorithm. So ideas usually start with mystery. It goes to heuristic. You solve some problem, and then you come to a level where you resolve the problems in a formula, and that formula works forever. Yeah, like McDonald's. There is a good story about it in the book. And it says that there are two types of people. One are good idea explorers and one are good exploiters. Yeah. So idea explorers basically talk about how idea can be solved. Yeah. They come to a level where they solve the problem, the mid level. And there are business minded people who think that okay, if there is a solution, how that solution can be scaled. And they basically provide the idea to scale in terms of business. Yeah. So validate your idea, try to check whether your idea has a business sense or not. And do this exercise that how it is going to make a great business sense out of that idea. I'll talk about this slide in continuation, which talks about how organizational understanding of any idea can be done. Okay? So when you're saying this idea is having a potential, try to look it from multiple perspectives. Try to do your research in terms of how this idea can be looked from multiple lenses. Yeah. Idea can be seen from, or your approach can be seen from desirability perspective. Desirability is something where you are trying to look into the solution which is desired by your customers. So user concerns. If we say sugarcane juices, you will say, okay, a lot of people want it. A lot of people want it hygienically. A lot of people want it quick. A lot of people want it in different flavors at a lower price, higher price, good quality, and all. This is desirability. And you are saying that you are ready to meet that all those requirements in a very simple sort of like solution. Yeah, that is desirability. Feasibility is basically looking into how you will make your idea feasible, how your idea is going to be taken up by people. Yeah, in a right sort of like manner. So by looking into this, you look into how production is of this idea is going to happen. How your machine should be such that you can just put a single sugarcane juice and you can serve it to a one person. And at the same time, if there are 10 people, you can put multiple sticks and sugarcane juice can be served immediately. That is engineering. That is basically the technology which is going to help you to make it more customizable, more doable in terms of right sort of like production activity. So basically realizing your idea to work is the idea of feasibility. Yeah. If your idea can be run in a production system, then your idea is worth. If you say that okay, I have a great idea to sell sugarcane juice and I'll be able to provide all the sugarcane requirements for the customers, but it cannot be made because machines are not good, production is very costly, sugarcane juice will be costing around 50 rupee per glass, then idea is not feasible. Yeah, you are saying that there is a good idea, but it cannot be engineered in right manner. This is where a lot of like engineering production requirements are fulfilled. Third comes the market or viability concerns. Yeah. So this, whenever there is an idea, this also need to be checked from market perspective. Viability basically says that whether this idea which is desirable and that can be doable is viable in the market. Viability basically says that if you have 100 rupees and you want to start a business of sugarcane juice, it is not viable. It says that it requires at least 1 lakh rupee of investment. Or you can say that okay, you have 1 lakh rupee to invest in sugarcane juice system, but the machine is not able to give you more than 20 glasses a day. Yeah, this viability is not there because you cannot serve just to 20 people and say that okay, I am going to make a great business. Or maybe there is possibility that you have good idea, this machine is there, you are able to produce it in good number, but number of customers because of sugar consciousness, because of diabetes issues and all, there are hardly 100 people one day. And if you are selling it for 20 rupees, 2000 rupee will be the business turnover every day. If you reduce your investment and all, remove your investment and all the expenses and everything, you are hardly able to save 200 rupee, 10%. Your business is not viable. You cannot sustain for 200 rupee a day in present day scenario. Yeah. So that way you have to look into whether your idea is going to scale in right manner or not. Or maybe one fine day you realize your idea is going to grow in a big way and you are going to see 2000 customers every day coming, multiplied by 20 rupee per glass is approximately 2000 multiplied by 20 is 40,000 rupee per day ka turnover. But problem is like you don't have machine, you don't have scalability, you don't have funds, you don't have people to support you. The idea is not viable. It has a higher potential, but you are not able to meet this idea. And problem is like once you launch in the market, you will see that a lot of competition is already there. So viability of any idea, basically look at from all different perspectives. How you are going to produce, how much you are going to make out of it, how much you really need to sustain in the market, how it is going to scale in 2 years or 3 years, how you are going to possibly make it a bigger business in terms of its sustenance and growth. Yeah, is all the viability concerns, which are also important to look into. Many times, I'm just telling you to remember this. Many times we are too much fussy about our ideas. We say that I have got a great idea and I'm going to make great business out of it. Without realizing how much your customers are going to pay you, how much profit you are going to make, how many real customers you are going to get in first year, second year, third year, fourth year, how much investment you really want or need to make in this business. Yeah, how you are going to get the funding, how you are going to possibly realize all the resources and going to make a great business, or the tricky questions beyond your greatest idea which you have in your mind. So try to look at from all perspectives. Desirability, if there is a good customer who is wanting it, whether it can be made or not, there's a feasibility, and how is the outside scenario, how you are going to make money, how you are going to sustain in the market, are the concerns which are important from the user's perspective or from the innovator's perspective. So in this line, looking into the market, how your target audience, what is your segment, your targeting, your positioning is going to be, how you are basically going to see that your customers who is coming from a given set of scenarios is coming to you. So basically segmentation, targeting and positioning is very, very critical. Not every sugarcane user is same. Yes, some are willing to buy 200 rupee juices in restaurants. They will never come to the road and drink your juices or buy your juices. Those who are looking at roadside juices possibly not be willing to go and pay for 200 rupees. Yeah? Those who are wanting roadside juices would need good hygienic conditions. Yeah? So segment is very, very, very critical in terms of looking into who's your real customer. Are they coming in couples? Yeah, maybe, or they are youth, college goers, or maybe children who are coming with their parents, or maybe yoga enthusiasts who are coming in the morning and wanting to. These are all segmentation, and those segments you have to have in mind very clearly. Otherwise, you will be serving to everyone and you will not be able to understand who is your real customer and how they are going to be identified. Targeting means where you are really going to see them in a real market scenario. Yeah, how you target them, how you say that okay, out of this, these many people I'm going to serve. So there are multiple segments. Let's say segments: elderly, segment young people, segment high earning group, segment low earning population, segment possibly people from Rajasthan or people from Gujarat. These are different demographic or different behavioral segmentation. And then from there, you are targeting to someone. You're saying, okay, these are the only customers and these are the only users of your juices. And then positioning, whether they are going to buy it for 20 rupees or with a good brand, 25 or 30 rupees, or good packaging, 40 rupees, or maybe quick, faster delivery, 15 rupees, or maybe bulk in maybe 10 rupees each glass in a corporate sort of like B2B system. Yeah, this is your positioning. And you will find that there are multiple levels of positioning possible in given situation. You have to choose few which are appropriate to you. Yeah. Same way market sizing, and we will be talking about this in detail, like how you do a market sizing, how you identify your larger total market, how your total available market is going to be. Available market is a bigger market which is going to be serving, which is going to be available to you. Yeah. So bigger market could be Gujarat, where I am going to possibly run this service, or maybe all religious locations where I want to run Ritik service, is a total available market. So I know that there are 10 or 20 religious places where people want to roam on rented vehicle. So my total available market is 20 cities across the country. Serviceable available market, because I am basically based in Lucknow, I will be able to serve only UP, yeah, Uttar Pradesh. Or I am basically coming from Tamil Nadu, I will be able to serve only in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. is my serviceable available market. Even the whole country want my services, but because of my limitation, because of my budget, because of my reach, or issues of like maybe regional requirements, I'll be able to reach to only those areas where I'm able to provide my services. Yeah. Serviceable obtainable market. SOM is basically, and you must have seen, if you have seen Shark Tank, you must have come across these terminologies. Very, very common terminologies. Yeah, nowadays. Serviceable acquirable market is basically what is going to come to you. Let's say if you are based in Chennai or based in Madurai in Tamil Nadu state, you will find that there are a lot of like possibilities, but you are not able to serve to all the market. Yeah. So maybe because you have only limited number of vehicles, 100 scooters you have, you will be able to serve 100 customers in a day. Yeah, on an average. So this is your obtainable market, acquirable market, and acquirable or obtainable market, we should say. Yeah, it should be obtainable. Obtainable market in given situation. Obtainable market is basically your business. This is something which is going to get at the end of the day, end of the year, end of the financial year in terms of your revenue. Even if market is 200 crore rupee, if you have capacity of serving only to 2 lakh people, you will just remain confined to 2 lakh rupees of revenue. If you have capacity to expand, you can go to 2 crores. If you have capacity to reach to maybe large market, you can go to 20 crores. Yeah. But that is something which is basically dependent on your capability. This is something where you can be present. Yeah. Across the Tamil Nadu, you can be present. But acquirable market or obtainable market is only where your scooters are running. Total available market is whole country is your available market. Even if you are there, if you are not there, the whole country is ready to take it. Yeah. So this concept is very, very important in your research and in your market understanding. Then we will look into how insights in entrepreneurial research and how you have to basically look for the insights, what type of real insights, and we'll be discussing in detail in upcoming sessions. But insights which will lead to the ideas, which will lead to more refined sort of like approaches, and then you will possibly be coming to the real solutions which are going to be taken by the customers. At the end, we also need to look into what is the value which is perceived by your customers. Okay? So let's say you are saying when you are defining your market is always defined by the value you are going to provide to your customer. If there are same type of phone available in the market, what type of value people are going to take from here is depending on whatever perception they have about or whatever need they have about the products. How many of you value Apple because its features, and how many of you really value a Samsung phone or maybe Xiaomi phone, depending on its utility and its features? Yeah, it purely depends on the choices. If I have great value and if I have a good amount of money with me, I'll possibly purchase an Apple or Samsung phone because I know that these are the priciest, most costliest phones in the market, and I'll possibly be able to purchase those phones easily. Yeah, and there is a great value for me in these two phones. If I want more experience, possibly Apple. If I want more reliability, I'll go for Samsung. Yeah, but I will never buy a Xiaomi phone which is coming for a very cheaper price. Yeah. But let's say if I don't have that much of money, I have constrained in terms of like my expenses, I have very limited money to buy a phone. I'll look for something which is cheaper, but meeting my requirement of using a phone for calling, applications, or maybe gaming, or maybe surfing. And that way, I will define my value in terms of like within less sort of like cost. I can purchase something which is more in terms of Xiaomi or Samsung lower end phones, or maybe all other different companies, Realme, Oppo, and all. Yeah. So there are different type of values we always perceive. It's a very economic sort of like concept where we try to see how a customer decides what to purchase and what not to purchase. Yeah. And value is decided by the customer to take up any services. If I see great value in sugarcane juice, I'll be going and purchasing sugarcane juice. If I find great value in terms of buying taking a service, scooter services rented, I'll possibly prefer that. Yeah. But if I have value in terms of hiring a cab better than or instead of going for a scooter rental, I'll possibly go for it. Yeah. And it purely depends on like how much money or time or convenience I want from a scooter or from a hired cab. And that way value is decided by customers. If customer value your services, they will purchase it. If they don't value your system or your offerings, they will never come to you. Okay? And in all these scenarios, when you are providing these services, when you are trying to resolve a social problem, try to define what type of value you are going to provide to your customer. If it is a social system and people are not interested, but you are interested in changing the scenario, the value perceived should be much higher than what you are or your customers are thinking. Yeah? People don't want to take education. The government has to take effort by making them realize that okay, no, education is important. It is not only for job, but also for your well-being, for your understanding of a lot of other things. People will not cheat you, people will not fool you, people will not be able to exploit you, and that is where also education is important. Government keep pushing, and you will always come across a lot of like dropouts, lot of issues of like girl education not appropriate in terms of people are not picking it, not taking it in a right manner, and value is not perceived in that way. Same way, a lot of time people see that public transport is unutilized or maybe utilized, not utilized or not taken in right manner. A lot of people prefer their own vehicle, scooters, bikes, cycles or cars to travel from one place to other and creating a lot of pollution because they are not seeing value in terms of taking a public transport system. Maybe reasons could be that they are not seeing value because no solutions are there for the last mile connectivity, or vehicles are crowded, or maybe it is equally costing if you go by metro or go by bus versus you take your own vehicle. Or sometimes they find that it is faster to go by your own bike than taking a metro or bus. Or sometimes they realize that okay, these frequencies are not right, time consuming, more inconvenient, and they don't see value in it. Compared to scenarios where public transports are very, very popular, like distances are very high, there are like more benefit of taking public transport. Those are more comfortable means of transportation. Those are very well connected. People see value there in terms of how public transport is better than their own personal vehicles. And many times people prefer it. If you provide right value, a same system which is not accepted in one scenario will be accepted in another scenario. Yeah, just because there are users who are seeing value into it. So that way, my suggestion is try to look into all these different possibilities. Yeah, try to define those elements in right manner. Try to see that it's not just idea, but in periphery there are a lot of factors which are associated with those ideas, and those peripheral factors are also associated with each other. And that way, having a right definition of your problem, having right definition of your elements in those problems, and having that idea which is going to solve all these multiple subtly connected issues is actually going to make you more successful in the market. Yeah. So that way, this session was basically looking into all those peripheral possibilities which are going to affect your ideas to take them forward. Yeah. So with this, we are going to stop here. We'll take some questions and then we'll possibly move for the next assignment. Yeah, so guys, please pose your questions. Is it clear? Today's session is helpful?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So any questions? Yeah. So any questions? I'm not able to see any response. Any questions? Or if you have any questions, you can possibly later also. If you have any questions coming in your mind, you can write to